Wow.
Okay. Imagine that we're all students sitting in an algebra class at Spring Valley High School in South Carolina. Our teacher is teaching a lesson over algebra. You see one of our classmates, she has her cell phone out. The teacher asks her to put it away multiple times. She refuses. She then asks her to leave. She refuses. A school administrator has to come in, and he asks her to leave the classroom. She refuses again. And then the school resource officer asks her to leave the classroom. She refuses again. So the school resource officer then picks her up out of her desk and throws her to the ground, and then drags her across the floor. This horrific incident was captured on many cell phones in a Spring Valley High School classroom back in October. One witness, Nia Kinney, watched and recorded on her phone as her school resource officer, Sheriff Deputy Ben Fields, picked up the young lady out of her chair and threw her on the ground and dragged her across the floor. He has since been fired because it's clearly excessive force, but the young lady was black and the officer was white, so there lies some discrimination. This incident, along with many others, proves that racial discrimination in American schools against black children is a major issue today. People around the country watched the previously mentioned incident that took place in the school. Many people wondered if the child had been white, what would the outcome have been? Many studies have been conducted to prove that black children are treated poorly in American schools. Discrimination against black children is very prevalent in today's society. It is extremely prevalent among black children, especially in today's schools. According to the article, UN experts seem horrified by how American schools treat black children, which is written by Rebecca Klein. The United Nations has a study group called the Working Group of Experts on People of African Descent. They conducted a study to learn about different changes and challenges that black children in today's schools face. They found that black children have different barriers such as access to teachers, a better education, and they face harsher punishments compared to their white classmates. So they also found that some schools participate in the school to prison pipeline, which is very bad for any child to experience. Lastly, they found that incorrect information about black history, such as slavery, was being taught to children. Like slavery, some people refer to as slaves as immigrants, which is very incorrect. So today I'm going to talk about different issues concerning black children in today's schools. First, I will discuss what racial discrimination is, and then examine the school to prison pipeline. And then I'll talk about how schools teach about black history. Before going any further, it's important to talk about what racial discrimination is. According to civilrightslaw.com, racial discrimination is where an individual is subjected to unequal treatment based on race or perceived race. So that means if somebody thinks you're black, they'll treat you badly, which is bad. This type of discrimination occurs in many schools today. Types of discrimination that occurs in schools would be students not having access to qualified teachers and and receiving harsher punishments than their white peers. In the article, American Schools Are Still Racist, Government Report Finds, written by Joe Raismose, black students don't have access to experienced teachers, so that means they're getting unqualified teachers to teach them core subjects which they're failing poorly in. And black students are also subjected to harsher punishments that includes suspensions or expulsions. Some students may get in trouble and receive an unjust suspension or may even be expelled. Poor academic punishment or performance and harsh punishments can lead to severe consequences for black students. Many times this pushes black students to drop out and engage in other non-safe activities. Practices like this is referred to as the school to prison pipeline. Many schools treat black students poorly, which can lead to students dropping out and engaging in activities such as gang activity, theft, and other activities which are not appropriate for children. According to American Civil Liberties Union, school to prison pipeline refers to the policies and practices that The policies and practices that push the nation's school children out of classrooms into the juvenile and criminal justice system. This practice is most commonly used in schools against Black children, especially in public schools. This article states that the pipeline first begins with failing public schools. So that means, again, back to unqualified teachers, and also a lack of much needed educational resources such as counselors, special education teachers. And because of that, that leads to just poor academic performance. And then the school to prison pipeline begins with the zero tolerance policy. And so a zero tolerance discipline policy means that like they just don't accept anything. So like a minor situation could get you suspended for like, or expelled for like you're just suspended or expelled. So like a student could bring a plastic knife to school to eat with her lunch and she could be expelled for that. Or a student may bring a cell phone, she could be suspended for that. And because of this makes students drop out. And then when you are suspended or expelled, you experience little to no supervision by adults. So because of that, you can just get into any and everything, which can lead students to going into the juvenile and court system. After explaining what racial discrimination and the school to prison pipeline is, it's now time to look at the lack of Black history that is taught in today's schools. Many schools lack Black history within the school curriculum. Many schools think it's important to learn about Christopher Columbus or the French and Indian War and other various topics. Back in 2002, William Payne wrote and pushed for a new state law in New Jersey. This new state law will require New Jersey schools to teach Black history. Payne was driven to write this law because he recalls being, I think he was in grade school. His teacher wrote him a book called The Story of Little Black Sambo. This popular book in the 19th century included many Black stereotypes, and Payne did not like that. Because of the bill, the bill went into effect in 2002, so Payne actually won that. And Payne also mentions that the bill was hard to put into effect because an idea actually being practiced in the classroom is very hard, especially with little to no cooperation from the teachers and school board. Doesn't make it any better. So because of the bill, the Amistad Commission was created. This commission includes members where they have to write lesson plans, organize educational events, and train teachers on Black history. This law requires that Black history must be incorporated at each grade level. Other states such as New York and Illinois have passed similar laws, so it's being put into effect as we speak, which is good. Parents and school teachers and police officers are humans in general. Like, we must do something about this, about Black children being treated poorly, because if we just do nothing, then it's just going to keep happening and it's going to eventually get worse. In order to understand how schools treat Black children, we learned about like what racial discrimination is. Then we examined the school to prison pipeline, and lastly, we looked at how schools teach Black history. So I hope you guys will learn something from this speech today, and hopefully you take it and you do something with it. Like, if you have children or come in contact with children, that you just help them and make sure that they're treated fairly. So thank you.